As you can see behind me, there's a bunch of logos here. So I want to tell you about how I became who I am today. A little over 2 years ago, I was working on a project with a good friend of mine, when I briefly mentioned that I have a friend who's going through, who's struggling with a mental health problem, and I didn't know how to help her. And I asked him if he could just point me in the right direction, because every single time I researched something, it just showed me advertisements for clinics and hospitals. He made fun of me, and he told me that I don't know how to research. And 2 days later, he texted me www.mentalhealth.ae. And I was very confused, because when I tried clicking on it, it didn't open anything. And I told him, what is that? He said, it looks like it's our new project. There seems to be a problem because I didn't find anything substantial. So if there's a problem, then we should attempt to solve it. So that was the day that Mental Health AE started. We started with collecting information and resources, putting on the website. We later created our social media pages. And then we started reaching out to people in the community to understand what's going on. What's the problem? How can we help? Because both of us didn't have a background in this field at all. Next thing you know, we were doing university events, we were doing corporate workshops, meetups and talks online and in person. And the beautiful part is it was all organic growth. We weren't really trying to advertise anything or go like, oh, this is a business. It wasn't like that. It was basically a need that we were addressing in the market, and every single step that we've taken ever since we started was upon the request of the community. So right now, we are in the process of building our mobile application that is going to provide mental health services at affordable prices and from regionally sensitive professionals. And heads up, because you're AUS, I'm telling you this. We are working out a way to provide free hours every single month for university students. So keep an eye out for that announcement. Now, the reason I shared this story is to tell you that you don't have to wait until you graduate to start something. There is no traditional path. There is no tick this box or tick that box and then you'll be able to start something. That's not how it works. So if you want to do something, you can get started. A little bit before I finished university, I started to ask myself, what do I want to do with my life? Like, what is my purpose? What's my calling? There were pretty big questions for university students, but they were there. So, because I knew that a 9-to-5 was not for me, I didn't want a job. It's not a bad thing, that's not what I mean at all. It just didn't fit with me. I wanted to create, I wanted to build something, and I was trying to figure out what. And funnily enough, a bit before I finished university, I attended this seminar. And the talk was surrounding a crowdfunding platform, for real estate. So it was a regulatory, conversation, how they're gonna make this legal in the country. So to simply put it, it's a bunch of people getting together, pooling their money, buying a property, and then when the rent comes in, they split it. That's as simple as I can put it. But regulated, legal, structured, so I was intrigued. I was like, okay, let me look more into this. And I did. And I found that the model has been around for a long time in other countries, and the UAE has just introduced it. So I thought, is there an opportunity here? So I started to do my homework. I started to research. That is the first thing you should do, by the way. You really need to know what's going on. So I started with the research, and I came to the realization that there is a massively untapped market. It was me. I represented that market. And then my grandmother's voice came echoing in my head, and she was repeating the same thing she was telling me my entire life. And that translates to save up for the dark days. And I thought, wait a second, our women have been doing this for the longest time ever. On one side, they're saving up, buying gold, and then when they have enough, they get into properties. On the other side, we have this thing called the Jamia, and that translates to a collection or a corporation. And basically, what a jam'iyya is a bunch of women get together, they pool their money, they decide to do it for a certain period of time, and then every month one of them receives it. That was kind of the way they supported each other. So I thought, okay, you know, they're doing this, they're doing that, so they have been doing this sort of thing. Why aren't they more active on other fronts? Why can't they just take that step forward? So I thought, you know, it became obvious to me, I should put the two together. But before jumping into anything, I had to prove to myself that my assumption was correct, that these women were interested, my target audience. So I started reaching out. I interviewed so many women from different backgrounds, and I'm talking about the students, the grandmother, the working woman, the non-working woman. And every time I introduced Baytuki, they were sold. I didn't expect that. So I got very excited. And right now, I'm not exaggerating, I have a wait list in the hundreds waiting for me to launch. And that was just in the research period. And by the way, the research period went on for a year. So I really took my time to understand and research and plan. After a year of research, the real hard work started. So I had to set up the company, I had to learn about the rules and regulations, I had to interview and hire people. And that also took a very long time. It took about a year. I did not expect all that hard work. It was so hard, I'm not joking. But I really wanted to do this. And I was like, I need to do this. I mean, look at all the women that were excited about this. I feel like I found my calling, so I want to build this. And right now, we are in the pre-launch phase. So the researching took a year, and then the company setup took another year. So we are in the pre-launch phase. So expect an announcement very, very soon. Unfortunately, I can't disclose any more information. And again, the reason I shared this story is to tell you that, yes, it's hard, but it's possible. So I want to tell you how it's possible. But before getting into that, I need you to understand that the entrepreneurship journey in general is very difficult. And, you know, people see the rainbows and butterflies, they see the shiny stuff, the money coming in, but they don't understand that, you know, there's a dark side. 80% of this, you know, the journey is the dark side. So what constitutes the 80%? First of all, it's not a 9 to 5. It's not a job where you can clock out and then it's none of your concern until the next day. It's your baby. You just want to take care of it. You think about it in the shower, you think about it when you're driving, you think about it while you're in class. So it consumes you in a way. I've been through it. I've been through the dark side with Mental Health AE and with Baytuki, the real estate tech startup. I understand the anxiety, I understand the stress, I understand the depression that comes with it. And for an entrepreneur, these levels are significantly higher than the individual. I mean, you guys can even look it up. I didn't know that. I jumped right in. And even more so than students. I'm not trying to scare you, but I want to be honest. This is the reality. You need to know what you're getting yourself into. But it's possible. So I want to tell you how it's possible. There's multiple facets to this. I can't get into everything, you know. It's going to take too long. But I want to start somewhere. And I want to say that everything starts with you. Do you want to do this? Why do you want to do this? How are you going to do this? I want you to please take out your phones and just answer a few questions that I have for you. Let's go. I see you. Please take out your phones. So, first thing I want you to answer. What do I want to do? So write down, I want to. Okay. Next question. Why do you want to do this? What's your reason? What's your motivation? So the last thing I want you to answer is, what is stopping you from starting? You know, just write down the reasons why. Why haven't you started? Let me give you some answers. Top answers are, number 1, everyone's favorite. I don't have time. Number 2, I don't have enough experience. Number 3, I don't have enough knowledge for this. Number 4, I don't have the money. And number 5, which is probably the real reason, some of you may have written it, some of you may have not, is I'm scared. I'm scared to do this. So let me help you out a little bit. First of all, you're never going to be ready. There is no such thing. You just have to do the best you can, and then you need to jump. Just dive in, take a leap of faith, just do it. And if you don't know, if you don't have the knowledge, if you don't understand, then learn. You're literally here in university because it's a learning experience. You're trying to learn. You don't come out of the womb knowing your ABCs, right? So why do you expect that you're going to know everything before you start something? You're going to learn through the experiences. You're going to learn through the whole journey. It's very exciting, I promise. Another thing was, I don't have the money. Let me share the story. So with Mental Health AE, we got support from an incubator and we won a competition like a couple of months ago. And that got us, the money that we needed to build the app that we're working on right now. But everything else was paid out of pocket. If you believe in something, you put your blood, sweat, and tears into it, and then some. And that being the money you have, all your savings. Just put it, you believe in your project. With Baytuki, after a year of research, I put together the pitch deck. I practiced the pitch so many times, and I entered some competitions. I won the competitions that gave my idea the extra validation that it needed to sign on an investor for a ridiculous sum of money that I did not imagine ever having at this point. And unfortunately, I cannot disclose the amount, but it happened. The money will come. You really just need to start. And for those who said they don't have time, you can make time. What if I told you that I'm going to give you $1 million if you memorize the Japanese alphabet by next month? Suddenly you're going to have time, right? So focus on your motivation, your why. And the other thing is, keep in mind and remember that it's a lot of work, that is going to be overwhelming, and you need to push your boundaries. You need to get out of the comfortable bubble. You have to be ready to fail. You're going to fail 1,000 times. You're going to feel embarrassment like you never felt before, and it's horrifying, but at the same time, it's liberating because you never know what to expect. You really just have to try your best, and then that's just going to become the way you roll, basically. I used to be nervous from public speaking, I'm not going to lie. My first experience was in 2019, and I remember going on stage, and I felt my heartbeat, not in my foot, but in my eyes. I don't remember anything from the experience, I'm not joking. And I just thought, I really did try my best, so why was I nervous? And then with more experience, with more failures, you just have to look back and think, okay, where did I go wrong? And then you learn from it. You turn on, you dust it off, and you move on. You fail fast and you fail forward. I'm sure you've read this before somewhere, and it's true, it applies. Fail fast and fail forward. If I can do this, then you can do this. So please remember that everything starts with you. Here's my information. Please connect and reach out. I'll be happy to help you. Thank you.